coming in. We've got 7 waiting. We've got Rekha Singh saying hello there. All right, so good morning, good day, good evening to wherever you are coming in the world. It's lovely to see people joining. We've got some hellos from Lily, from Fonzie, someone whose name is WHE from Rapunzel. Welcome to all of you, and especially welcome to people who are joining our students from E2. I'm Helen. And today we are going to be looking at reading part A. Okay. Now, before we begin, a quick message to everyone joining from E2 Test Prep. Can you see my screen? Can you hear me? Please drop into the chat box if you can. And then we will make a start. We've got some thumbs up here. A quick message to those students from E2 Test Prep. We are going to be doing the same reading A from last week, but if you want to join and stay and revise, please do. But we are going to do reading part B and C on the E2 platform straight away afterwards. So welcome to everyone here. And I can see lots of people who are joining from YouTube. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, Jobin is saying, Patrick, Magia, Josephine. So very good to see everybody here. So let's make a start. So in reading part A, here's an overview of what you've got to do. You need to read fast and efficiently. Okay, it's really important because you've not got long and you've got 4 short texts with 20 questions, and they form into 3 types: matching, short answer, and sentence completion. As I said, there's only 15 minutes, and so time is the challenge. You need to be reading quickly and efficiently. Now, that means being strategic, right? It doesn't mean rushing. We're going to be looking at a method. So there are various text features that you will see, right? There will be tables, bullet points. There will be visual and numerical information. You will have footnotes to look at as well. And sometimes you'll also see continuous prose, right? So I'm interested, drop into the chat box, how easy or difficult do you find reading part A? How is it for you? It's the first part of the reading subtest, and it's fast. They'll take the paper away afterwards. How do you find it? I'm interested to know, is it easy, medium, or difficult? Someone's saying they felt like they didn't have time. Yeah, thank you for saying that. Time management, another person is saying, absolutely right. And another person is saying difficult. Okay, Stay, you're in the right place. Other people are saying the content is easy, but the time management is difficult. All right, thank you very much. Let's continue. And one of the things that's really important to do is to be able to quickly work out, well, what is this text about, right? This skill is called skimming. It's part of speed reading. So as you skim, you're going to be doing a few different things. You're going to be looking for any graphic elements, for example, pictures. And at least one of those 4 texts will be looking more simple. It will have graphic elements, maybe a picture, maybe a flowchart. You also want to be looking for headers and subheaders, and you want to be able to run your eyes quickly down the text. Now, don't try to pick up every word. That's where people get stuck. They go too deep too quickly. But for 3, the key word there is quickly. And from that, you want to work out what the text seems to be about. Okay, so how do you feel about skimming? We've got some questions coming in here from Alina, where to start. We're going to come to that. You start at the very beginning, please, right? Start at number 1. All right. Now we're going to do a little practice, okay, with reading. In the text that you'll see now, there are no graphic elements. There are no headers or subheaders. And you're going to try and read quickly down the page, straight down the middle, without trying to pick up every single bit of it. Okay, here we go. Yes, it is blocked out. All right, maybe that came as a little bit of a shock to you, but this was just an exercise in skimming. What was the text about? What was the text about? Okay, if you want to put into the chat box. Okay, we've got some good answers here. Jinky's saying during pregnancy, prenatal caffeine. Nora's saying caffeine during pregnancy. Yeah, great. Maureen in E2 is saying liver and prenatal. Yeah, amazing. So even though this is not typical of a reading A text, it looks more like a C text. This skill of skimming is really important. It means that you can pick things up quickly just by using your eyes to let the keywords come in. You can see, I'll just point them out. We've got some keywords there: pregnancy, liver disease, hormone levels, coffee, prenatal, non-alcoholic liver disease. Keywords will jump out at you, especially as you are healthcare professionals. So skimming is very useful. And there's the summary. Okay, excessive caffeine during pregnancy may impair baby's liver development and increase the risk of liver disease in adulthood. So now we're going to try the skill that you will use in the first part of the test, skim read. Okay, now in the test, you should take 1 minute, you could even go to 2 to skim all 4 texts. Okay, so let's have a go. What's the text about? In the chat box, drop 1 to 4 words that sum up the text. Okay, we've got seizures, a seizure. Symptoms, yes. What do we have on YouTube coming in? We're a little bit behind. Assessment of seizure, another student said here. Great work. Next one. And what has been said? Medications, treatment, assessment. Fantastic. And the next one. And what has come in? Yeah, great work, Princess. Classifications, good classifications in identifying seizures, says Marie Antoinette. Good, lots of good answers coming in here. Global types of seizure. Okay, you're getting the idea of this, you're getting good. And the last one. Okay, let's see what's been said here. Here we have diagnosis. Is it a seizure or not? Okay, and also what to do afterwards. Clinical management. Very good. All right, so this part of the test is really important. And sometimes I think people don't want to do it because they feel like it's a waste of time. They feel like they would rather be jumping straight into writing words on the page. But this is really important to do. So here are the possible answers. Text A, signs and symptoms. Text B, meds. Text C, classification. Text D, diagnosis. Right. So now let's move to the matching questions. The first thing that you will do, someone asked, do we do this, the first 1 to 7 questions first? Yes, you should. So you'll see matching questions like the example below. Okay. And all you need to do is say which text contains information about particular topics. So for example, number 1, the correct route for the administration of a drug. Number 2, the likely cause of some symptoms. And number 3, what you should write on the patient's notes. You may be writing, as you see here, the same letter comes up twice. That can happen. Don't be surprised by that. Let's go on. All right, so here you can see all 4 texts at the same time and see if you can find in which text contains information about types of injury that may be sustained during a tonic-clonic seizure. 30 seconds. All right, thank you for your answers. We'll come back to them all together at the end. Next one, which behaviors occurring before a seizure to record? Good, let's push on. Number 3, different types of seizure. Okay, and the next one. Different routes of administration for anti-seizure medications. All right, well done. The typical medical definition of a seizure. All right, great. Lots of answers coming in thick and fast. So let's have a look at the answers to them now. So the first one was answer D, the types of injury that can be sustained during a tonic-clonic seizure. Okay, it's written down here in D. For A, the behaviors occurring before a seizure that you need to record are up at the top. Symptoms should be documented, right? Okay. For 3, the different types of seizure is in text C. That's very clear schema, isn't it? Easy for 3, number 3. And number 4, the different routes of administration for anti-seizure medications. Now here you've got them in the medical abbreviations: intravenous, intramuscular, intranasal, the different routes. 5, the typical medical definition of a seizure is given by seizures can be defined as, okay? So there is a verb instead of the noun, but it's still the same answer. Okay, how was that? Any difficulties, challenges, or questions there? All right, give me a thumbs up, Pinny, too, if you're happy to go on to some short answer questions. Thank you. Now, for this part, you are going to be matching, for the short answers. You're going to be writing your answers into the space provided in the question paper. So, you'll do a match and then you'll find a short answer. Now, it's really important that you spell your answers correctly, okay? Now, here it is an example of the paper, okay? And it says, answer each of the questions 8 to 14 with a word or short phrase from one of the texts. Each answer may include words, numbers, or both, okay? And you can just read there some examples. Number 8, what should be used to elevate a patient's fractured leg? Number 9, what is the maximum dose of morphine per kilogram of a patient's weight that can be given using the intramuscular route? Number 10, which parts of a limb may need extra padding? Okay, so you'll just find a short answer. Okay, and here are some examples. For example, 8, a rolled up blanket. The maximum dose of morphine per kilogram is 200 micrograms. And number 10, lower extremities are the parts of a limb that need extra padding. Okay. Now, there is a method for this part of the test. Okay. First of all, you want to identify keywords in the question. What's the question asking me to find out? Then you're going to decide, well, which text might contain the answer. Now, that's where the skimming you've already done in the previous section will serve you really well, because the deciding where to go is going to be so much easier if you've already skimmed all of the texts. Okay. And then we come to a different skill, which is called scanning. And this is where you're really searching for something, for texts, for words and information related to the keywords in the question. And this scanning is the same kind of looking that you do when so where did I put my glasses? Where did I put my phone? You're looking for something specific. Okay. So you're going to find the area that you want to look at, and then you start to dive more deeply. Okay. You're going to read the section carefully to find the correct answer. Okay. Now, if that doesn't work for you, come up again. Read around the relevant section if you don't find the answer quickly, okay? But basically this 5-step method is really useful. And when I teach, I find that when students have really clearly understood the question, then the answer is easier to find, okay? So the skill of locating keywords in the question and then quickly matching them on the text. And you're looking for the same word or synonyms. Now, if you want in the chat, drop in which words are the same word or synonyms for this question. Something, maintain warmth, something. This is half-finished sentence, half-finished question, but where might you start to look? We've got the idea of maintaining warmth. Which words in the text should be drawing your attention? Well done, Fatima. Yes. Keep warm, exactly. Okay. Keep non-infected areas warm and dry. You're just taking out a little bit of information there. We can also see that here it's a noun, warmth, but here it's, what is it? It's an adjective. Sometimes the word might change its form a little bit. Don't be surprised by that. Let's have a little practice here. I'm going to drop out of the video just for this exercise. Try to find the words on the table. So for example, B18 is vaccination. Okay, 30 seconds. See if you can spot them on the charts. All right, let's see how you did. So I'm just going to highlight them now. So you can see them now, they're highlighted in blue. Okay, so dehydration, excuse me. Dehydration is over here in 35. Vaccination was B18. Hallux, C5, laryngeal here in 32. Supination, E29, and delusional down here. Now, when you are scanning, it's very useful to use either your finger or a pen, and that helps your eyes to move a little bit faster. The other thing that's important to do is to go methodically, right? So use the same sort of physical movement. Don't just go wildly like that. Use a physical movement. I often forget to do that, but it's a very useful thing to do. Okay, let's carry on. So here, we're going to practice identifying the keywords in the question. Drop into the chat box what you think they are. Okay, thank you. How long? Diazepam, yes. Repeated dose for the first one. Yes, good job, everybody. And then in number 9, other term, non-motor generalized. Good. Let's try some. So the first one is, how long should you wait before repeating a dose of diazepam? So we're going to choose which text to look at first of all. And we'll decide it's text B, and I'll give you 30 seconds to find it. All right, nice. Number 9, what's the other term for non-motor generalized onset seizures? Where should we look for that? We're going to look here in text C because it's the classification, and the other term for non-motor generalized onset seizures. All right, let's have a look at the next one. What is the first stage in managing a seizure in the emergency department? What text would that be? Let's go for D. Good, so lots of answers coming in. Number 11, what should practitioners be ready to do for older or weaker patients given midazolam? What text would that be? It's going to be something about medications. You are doing fantastically well. Number 12, what type of seizure may imply a retention or partial loss of consciousness? What text would that be? Type of seizure here. All right, we are doing brilliantly. So let's have a look at the short answer questions. Before I do that, pop into the chat box how you found it, easy, medium, or hard for the short answer. Okay. Medium in E2 test prep. What are people saying elsewhere? I'll be curious to see. Here we have some answers. So, how long to wait before repeating a dose of diazepam? In text B, we've got 15 minutes. Okay, repeat once, 15 minutes later. So you're just going to write down the words 15 minutes because that's the period to wait. For 9, the other term for non-motor generalized onset seizures is an absence seizure, okay? Because here it is generalized, and then its subcategories are motor and non-motor, and the other word for it is an absence seizure. Number 10. Oops. The first stage of managing seizure in an emergency department. So we go to D, which is all about diagnosis and management. And at the bottom, it says there are three. It says there are 3 components. First one is terminating the seizure. Number 11, what should practitioners be ready to do for the older or weaker patients given midazolam? So here we've got frail, small, or elderly in text B on the medications. And it says, be prepared to support airway and ventilation. So be prepared to do something is the synonymous words for be ready to do something, support airway and ventilation. Okay. People are asking to see the question. The question is available on the right-hand side of the screen. Okay, number 12, what type of seizure may imply a retention or partial loss of consciousness? And this is focal onset. Now, this one is harder. Okay, yeah, I've just moved the camera so that you can see it properly. I apologize. I see what's happened now. Now, let's talk about this one. What type of seizure may imply a retention or partial loss of consciousness? Here in the classification, we have aware and impaired awareness, and that's synonymous with retention. It's slightly different, isn't it? It's the word retention means something stays, but we've got loss of consciousness, but the opposite is stated here. Okay. All right, so let's go to some sentence completion questions now. Here you have to complete with a word or short phrase from the text, okay? Each answer may include words or numbers or both. Okay, so for 15, a non-high risk patient should be treated for paracetamol poisoning if their paracetamol level is above something mg per liter 8 hours after overdosing. So we know that's going to be some kind of number there. What about number 16? What kind of information needs to go into 16? Any ideas there? What should go into 16? Exactly. It's going to be the number of hours. So you'll see a number. Okay. Good. Now, there is a method as well for this part of the test. First, analyze the first gap sentence. Ask yourself, well, where is the gap? What type of information is missing? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? Is it dosage? Is it medication? What should go in, just as you did right now, okay? And then you're going to identify keywords in the sentence around the gap, okay? Because that gives you a sense of what the meaning is, right? Next, you're going to scan for the keywords or synonyms in the text. So that means like you're looking as though you're looking for where your glasses are or where your keys are. Then you go into reading the text carefully to find the answer. So you do this deep dive later, after you have found the right place to look. Then you're going to check that the completed sentence is grammatically correct, makes sense, and most importantly, that the word or phrase is spelled correctly. Now, you will lose points if you do not spell the words correctly. That means you copy perfectly and you double check everything. So let's have a look at this one. Okay, short answer questions. Seizures which can't easily be categorized, about which there is little information, are referred to as something. Okay, so let's try this one. What are the key words there? Excuse me, I showed you by accident. What are the key words there? Okay, so there it is. Those that can't easily be categorized. So you're looking at categorization, little information, referred to as. So it's going to be their name in some way. Let's try some sentence completion questions now. Okay. So it's the same one. Have a go at this one. Can you see the question now? I hope you can. Okay, so just to repeat that one, I'll read it aloud. Seizures which cannot be easily categorized, about which there is little information, are referred to as something. Okay. Okay, for the next one, it is important, and I can see on YouTube, in YouTube to E2, the display is a little bit different. So I'm going to read the question again for you. It is important that practitioners look for something such as eye blinking, right? It is important that practitioners look for something such as eye blinking. So the question here is, what should practitioners look for? What kind of things should practitioners look for? Okay. I'll read it again. It is important that practitioners look for something such as eye blinking. All right, let's try the next one. Okay. Continuous seizure. Again, YouTube has got it blocked, so perhaps someone could drop in the question, but it says continuous seizure for more than 5 to 10 minutes without regaining something is known as status epilepticus. Continuous seizure for more than 5 to 10 minutes without regaining something is known as status epilepticus. All right, so which one is that? Okay, so again, I'll read it for the YouTube participants. We've got a slight technical problem here. It says continuous seizure for more than 5 to 10 minutes without regaining consciousness, without regaining something. I said it. So a continuous seizure for more than 5 to 10 minutes without regaining something. Let's try the next one. Wow, YouTubers have got it anyway. All right, the next one. No medication is needed for most seizures because they will end in something or less. No medication is needed for most seizures because they will end in something or less. Okay, where is that? That is in text B. All right, let's try one more. Okay, this one says recording observations of the part of the body where a seizure started can provide evidence of their something. Recording observations of the part of the body where a seizure started can provide evidence of their something. So let's have a look. Evidence of their what? This will be in A. Mm-hmm. Great answers coming in. Good, so let's try the next one. Okay, so let's have a look at the answers now. So for the first one, the answer's unclassified here at the bottom, how they are referred to, these seizures that can't easily be categorized. For 16, involuntary muscle activity here. This is something that practitioners should look out for. For 17, the answer is consciousness. For 18, I think if you'd written full consciousness, that would be acceptable as well. Okay, for 18, no medication is needed for most seizures because they end in under 2 minutes. So we could write 2 minutes or less. Now, if you wrote under 2 minutes, it would be wrong. You need to write 2 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes. Okay, or less is already there. So if you'd written or less, it would be redundant. Okay, 19, recording observations of the part of the body where the seizure started in part A can provide evidence of their location in the brain. Here we need location in the brain, not just location. So here are the answers. Okay. For the sentence completion. How did you do with that? Drop into the chat how it was. I do apologize for the technical problem we've had, but it's a sign that you can still do quite a lot, even with imperfect technology. Okay, but I apologize for that. So with reading skills, there are 4 things that you should remember. Start with skim reading, get the general sense. Second, analyze each question for keywords. That's going to guide your search in the texts. Then check the sentence completion answers are grammatical. And 4th, finally, after all the work you've done, please spell the words correctly. Now, are there any questions from you? If there are, put them into the chat box. And in the meantime, I'd just like to tell you about a little bit more practice. If you would like to sign up for a paid package for the next 48 hours, there is a discount 15% using the code 15OET. You can sign up and you can get a mini mock test, assessments with teacher feedback, unlimited live classes, and you can also get one-to-one tutorial and of course the mini mock test too. All right, so if there are any questions, it would be great to see them. Can you highlight the words? Yes, I think you can on a computer test. Says someone from E2. Just look at any other questions. Yeah, the feedback from E2 students is saying it's medium difficult. One student saying it's hard to keep up, but I want to say that will come with practice. It really does. The more you practice, the easier this gets, I promise you. And the more you do, the more confident you get about what works best for you. Okay, so I'm going to sign off here and I'm going to be teaching B and C over at the E2 platform. Thank you to everyone who's joined and thank you for your patience with our little technical problem over at YouTube. Hopefully we'll fix that for next time. But for now, I'll say thank you for your participation and your hard work. And I will say goodbye and see you next month. Thank you.